Hello guys, this is another video tutorial of CAD Engine Tutorials Archicad 20. In this video we will be handling the column 2, and here we are on the column 2. So before we start, I would like you to subscribe to the channel, help us grow, give us a thumbs up if you have been liking the videos, if you have been watching and following up the videos, and know that you have been learning from the videos. So let's get to that. Here is the column 2. As you know, you can double click here, or you can click here once, or you hit the shortcut button Ctrl T to get into this column settings. And here we are. You go to the column geometry. Like I said, just like the wall tool, this wall tool here, when you get into the wall tool here, that you have a story, whatever, here you put it to not linked. The same thing goes with the column 2. The same thing goes with the column 2. Set it to not linked so that you can set your column height accurately, the height that you want it to be. And here you set the width, as you can see, the little arrow, and here you set the other width, he did this width and the other one. This is where you set them. If you want them to have the same width measurement, you can change this. But if you don't want them to have the same width measurement, like 300 by 600, you can unchain this. Like this is turned off now. You can now put this one to 600 and it will stay. But if you want them to have the same measurement, you can change this so that, as you can see, they have changed. But if you unlink these two, they will go back to the settings that you put them. Now this is the rectangular or square column 2, the icon for that, and this one is for the circular column 2. You can use that. Here you set the material to structural concrete. So, and here you set the anchor point, the point at which you are going to be putting them. This is where you set the floor plan, how it is going to appear on the floor plan, whether you want it to appear in all the stories or in the home story only. We'll be needing that information when we'll be designing a full tutorial, but for now let us just handle the tools first. Now you can change the symbol type to plain, sash, or X, or crosshair. Anyone that you choose. Let us just leave it to crosshair. So, and here you change the color of the let's just leave it to paint jade, color of the surface of the column. Now hit OK. For the anchor point here, if you set this, it will now look at where it will use. This is the meaning of the anchor point. Now if you put this one here, it will appear at the center. Now if you put this one here, it will appear this way. So this is how you put the column anchor point, so for ease of construction, so that it can be put well. So now the column has some editings to it, some touches that can be done to it. Now you can choose to put this column. If you go enter into the dialog setting, Ctrl T, you can choose to give this column, let's just give this column, let's not make it an angled column. Now you check the angle, let me say 75. Thank you. 75. You can later change this angle to here. This is where you change the angle, like this. Thank you. So, and here is where you extend it, stretch the element upwards, stretch the height of the element. It can be edited better in 3D view. Now when we go to enter the 3D view, when you enter into the 3D view, this is our column. This is our column. You can stretch the height here, this one. You can stretch the height. Of the column. This is our column, and you can also change the angle. by which the column will be sitting. Now this is the column now, and say let me change it to this angle. Okay, and you can as well now change it the way you can change the height and the angle as well, going up, going, it does not go any other way. For this one you can change the height and inclination, that is the angle. And for this one you change just the angle and the angle and the inclination. I mean, you change the point where the column is anchored to the horizontal axis. The top of the column is anchored to the horizontal axis. That is what this one does. The top of the column is anchored on the horizontal axis. You can also use that one to make the column in a way that you can just put it in any other way. As you can see, I'm moving the top of the column anywhere I want, as you can see that. And if you want to change it back to 90 degrees, you can just come here and click. Now it will go back to 90 degrees and stand erect as it was supposed to. And now let's go back to the column 2. Now we will be coming back to this one, because this is a complex column, a column that you have a special design for. This is used when we get to another video, but for now let's just stick to this column 2. So this column 2 now, for this one it can only be stretched upwards, or you can put it in that one that you know that you can use to do any way you want. Take it to any level, any length and inclination that you want. The other nodes can be used to stretch the top, rotate, stretch the profile like this, or you stretch it like this. That is how they are. That is how the other nodes, in which are beside the center node, function. So let me just undo that. So that is that for the column 2. The column 2 does not have much in it, so we just leave it. Now we go over to the beam tool. This tutorial is just for you to know how all these tools work, so that when implementing them in a design, you can know what to do at every given point in time. Thank you. So the beam tool, like I said, you double click or you press the shortcut button, Ctrl T, and then here you set the thickness of the beam. There is the height of the beam, and here you set how from what level which the top of the beam, not the foot of the beam. As you can see, the arrow is pointing to the top of the beam. Here is the beam, the beam structure, and here is the one that you have a special design for. We will come to this when all of them are just outlined in one element. This is where you set the beam width, the width of the beam, and here you set the material. Is always structural concrete or maybe any other thing, and here you set it if it is inclined or not. Here you set the angle, you put in inclined beam. As you can see, this one has an inclination, so you set the angle here. Let's just start with this one first, the horizontal one, and here is where you set the views on the floor plan, whether it's going to be on the home story or home story and 1 story up, home story and 1 story down, home story and 1 story up or down, or you set it to all relevant stories or all stories if you want the beam to be seen like that. Now you can see beam curtain line, show reference line, I used to off that one because it's not something you just you draw in paper. So here is where you set the colors of each surface. The side that is painted blue is the side that has the surface. The side that is, so you can just on all of them in order to set their colors one by one. Give them a separate colors. But if you want them to have the same color all through, you can just chain them so that they will have the same colors all through. So if you don't want that, you can unchain them so that you can give them a separate colors. So let's just go over. Let me say this 225 by 250. Let me see 150. Okay. Right. So this is our beam now. So this is our beam. Let me remove that center line. Okay. So this is our beam. This is how it's going to show on the floor plan. This is how it's going to be shown on the floor plan, and it can be this one. The drawing type can be this one, which you draw and it's going to be over, or you can use this one, which you draw and you continue to draw. Then when you are done, you can double click. This one is one that you draw like this, then this one is the one you draw in a circle. So, and this one is one if you want to make a rectangle or a square, but in an inclined way, in a special way. Are you seeing it? So, and as well, just like the wall, this beam can be edited. It can be edited, and here it can be made to go circle, or just like the wall too, you can edit the beam too. You can offset that, make the offset, or you can offset all the edges, just like the wall too. All the properties of the wall too, in editing them, the beam also has it. So let's go there, and this beam can be split too. It can be split into two. It can be split. It can be just like the wall too. It can be joined. It can be chamfered. You see that? It can be chamfered. It can be chamfered. Anything you can that you do to the wall too, it can be done that way. If you want to cut it, okay, you have to join them first. It can be cut. So anything you do to the wall too, it can be done also to the beam too. So if we go to the 3D, here is our beam. So this is our beam, and you can change this beam. You can as well change from here. Maybe you want to go to the elevation. This can be done in the elevation. If you want to change the angle, that is, change it to an inclined beam, it can be done. Changing it to an inclined beam, that is clicking on this one on the center node. You can change the length, drag it like that. You can also do it in the 2D, dragging the length. This one is dragging the length. Okay, this one is changing the angle. It's on changing the angle. Then this one is dragging the length. And if you click on changing the angle, you see that the beam angle is a little bit higher than it is supposed to be, but on the same top level. So, and you can also, in the 3D window, you can also change the profile, the width, or the height, like this. So, and for our information, if we are working with the inclined angle, let me say 45, all these other tools will be inactive because you can only incline one beam once. You can incline only one beam once. You can't keep on continuing unless you want to use a column for that. You can as well change the type of line it has. Overhead lines, you can change them to solid line, and you can see it will be a solid line. It will be a solid line. And like I said, here is where we will change. If you don't like the thickness of the pen, now the pen it is using is 0.18, you can change that to 0.35, or if you won't need a custom pen of your own, you can change that too. You can change that one too. So, but we will be handling the pen tools in a different video, but for now we will handle this beam tool and column tool for now. Give us a thumbs up if you learned anything special about this video, and subscribe for us to grow our channel, and give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.